Here on the Sportscast, we are buzzing to have Hybrid Training Centre as our new main sponsor. Hybrid trains, assess and develops programs for the gas, electrical, plumbing and renewable energy industry. Whether you are looking to build a career in engineering or an employer who wants to upskill his workforce, check out the link in our bio and see what courses Hybrid have on offer.
Hello everyone, welcome to the Sportcast. It's me, Andy Grant. I've got Gary Judge with me from Across the Park podcast, and this may be the most depressing Sportcast I have ever done. Apologies first off, it's via StreamYard. Gary is in Dublin, is it? You are, mate? Belfast, sorry, and I am in Ibiza, so it's going to be a shortened one as, timing wise, it's not been great, and that is not because I'm being a sore loser. It is genuinely because I'm meant to be out at dinner right now, so I've just left everyone to come and let Gary smile and laugh and have his time in the sun. Guess there's nowhere else to start, really, is there? I mean, you were there, you witnessed it. I was sat in a pub crying. I wouldn't quite go as far before you say it that we lost the league at Goodison Park. I don't think it's quite on that level, but we certainly, dent our hopes of it. Just a pretty lacklustre performance from my end. I mean, taking nothing away from you, I thought that's probably one of your best performances in a long time. Maybe you can, testify to that. I don't know, but we just did not look up for it one bit. Like, I don't know. Go on, I'll let you have the stage. I mean, it was your night. What did you make of it?
I mean, just to counter one of your claims,
it started already. We've been recording 1 minute, 20 seconds, and it started already.
Let's see how the season finishes. If you lose the league by 2 or 3 points, then you did lose the league at Goodison Park. All right, you've lost to Palace as well, so Palace can take some of that credit. But I can't say that the victory, which took it away from you, and I think it has, and I think you probably admit that now. The fact you've got to make up ground on both teams, assuming City win one of those games in hand, means that it almost isn't insurmountable. So I can't say that I don't take more credit from the fact that it's almost put the final nail in the coffin. I'll take that. Final nail in the coffin or lost the league at Goodison Park. Either one is just as satisfying. But getting into the actual performance side of it, I think it was our best derby performance in a long time, without doubt. I'm not sure it's the best. I'm not even sure it's our best performance this season. I think Newcastle at home, Chelsea at home were probably better all-round performances. I think we were more consistent throughout the whole game, and I think we were probably a bit more dominant in those games than we were last night. I thought that it was a proper derby performance. I think what I've said to every red I've spoken to today, quite honestly, we were just miles better in both boxes. And if you boil football down to its most simplest form, about being better in both boxes than the opposition generally. That's what the best sides do well. They defend well in their own box or around their own box, and they're clinical in the other box. I maybe wouldn't go so far as to say we were clinical, but we just made better decisions in your box, and we looked a bit more sure as to how we were going to score goals. I thought we kept decent possession of the ball, but I've never felt less intimidated by a Liverpool team. I mean, I spoke a lot to Evertonians last night, and the fear that the likes of Firmino and Mane and the old Salah used to put up us when it came to Goodison was just horrible. And then you look at forwards last night, and with the exception maybe of Diaz, because I think Diaz looked like he had something about him at times. The other two, Salah and Núñez, Salah looks a shadow of himself, and Núñez is just a mess.
Núñez, mate. That's the problem. Núñez is Núñez. That is the biggest flaw you can give him. Núñez is Núñez. He's not gonna. And you know what was really interesting? We spoke the other week where I gave you your props and said, you did say that Reds would almost turn on him a little bit. And you've seen it in the mainstream media. You've seen Carragher turning around and saying, look, Núñez is not good enough for Liverpool. It was all right, again, laughing and joking, Captain Chaos. Now the fans are starting to say, look, this kid is as hard as he tries, and as much as we want to love him, he's not clinical enough to get us, the trophies that we want. And I'm not saying that, I'm completely done with him, but it was just another performance where you look at him and go, if you put your chances away, that game's potentially won. And we're left here now. Salah has got so much credit in the back. He's been a shadow since he's got back from his injury of his former self. But listen, he's got the credit in the bank. He's done it for, the last 6 years or so. But I think the problem isn't that front three, and you just alluded to it then. As much as I love Diaz, he's not a kind of, a striker. He's not Mane, no. He's not going to get you the goals Mane does. He causes problems, he gets his assist, and he's a great player. But we went from having Firmino was almost like a bit of a Diaz, if you like. Would score somebody with assist goals and was just a great, linking up with the play. But you had Salah and Mane there. Now you've got Salah, and when Salah has one of his off days like he did yesterday, you're relying then on Núñez, and that's where the problem is. Do you know what I mean? And Liverpool just haven't got that up front. And I remember saying when there was talk about going at the start of the season about Salah going, and I actually stupidly said I'd let Salah go because we've got Jota, we've got Diaz, we've got Gakpo, we've got Núñez, and I said if those four aren't good enough, then you know what I mean. And it turns out they're not good enough.
In fairness, though, I think what you were saying is it's a good chance to see if they can step up, and there's the potential. I think at the start of the season, I think most people would say, look, that all of those players, Salah's already proven his potential, but all those other players had equal potential to step up. But unfortunately, none of them really are good enough. Do you know what I mean? Are good enough. And when I say good enough, I compare it to, as I just said, the players that you had. And you've been spoiled. And again, there was another conversation I had with the lad next to me. It was like, how spoiled have these been down the years for number 9s? You've gone from Rush, Fowler, to Owen, to Torres, to Suarez, to Salah. Not a number 9, but, he's always had a talismanic player. Who gets you 20 to 25 goals a season. And it's the first time now where you're looking, potentially if Salah moves on in the season, you're thinking in the summer, who's going to get you that 20, 25, 30 goals? And, you don't need it. Arsenal showing you can get by, and you've shown as you can by sharing the goals around. But those players need to have that level of consistency, and when none of them really showed up last night to the degree you needed them.
No, and Jota being injured again. I mean, I love Jota. I think every Liverpool fan knows how clinical he is, but he's getting injured a lot. Do you know what I mean? And it's like Thiago, unbelievable. Actually, seeing Carlo Ancelotti actually put Thiago in one of his all-time midfield best ever, which says something considering the midfielders he's been able to manage over the years. So, no doubt Thiago was a great player, but he's injured all the time, and Jota's becoming that player where we know he's a great finisher. He's always injured. And again, I wouldn't put my money on Núñez, to score. Diaz, Gakpo, it's like, it's just, mate, it was just so, and I know, listen, I've had, Blues text me, I've had, I knew I was going to come on here, talk to you, I've had people on social media, and listen, gloat, but it's depressing and it's sad. I just didn't see Klopp's ending coming to this, mate, and it just, you see him smile when you scored, and I think he was just in disbelief that, everything he's done, and it's all coming down to getting beat 2-0 at Goodison. And it was, look, I can see you smiling now, but...
There's a bit of irony, and I don't know whether, I don't know whether it, as you say, it was a little bit of fucking hell, has it really come to this? Or if it was like a bit of class from him to say it's boss to see these enjoying this, you know what I mean, and how much it meant to the fans, because he's a football man, as much as I fucking hate him. He's a football man, and he's always been about the fans, and he does appreciate the atmosphere and passion and all that, and we just shown that, not only the fans, the players shown that in abundance last night, and you just went up to it. And you talk about that end of the pitch, I actually thought it was the worst back. These were absolutely horrendous. I mean,
can I just say, mate, I've give Calvert-Lewin a bit of abuse, saying just how much of a poor striker he is, but the way he fucking leapt above Trent, and God, he looked like a man who'd scored 30 goals already this season. I mean, it was baffling just to see how much he's come alive. I know you're going to be up for it anyway because it's a derby.
Yeah, I mean, look, Calvert-Lewin's got it in him. Go back to when I first started coming on the podcast, and it was the end of last season. I was talking about, listen, if Calvert-Lewin's fit, we're fine. We'll score goals. We'll stay up. We'll be comfortable. And again, last night, I think what it was about last night, he knows we're coming towards the end of the season. Calvert-Lewin has been playing for so long at 70, 80%, because he's always thinking, if I push myself to 90% or 100%, I'm going to be out for a few weeks, a few months. But he's thinking now, you know what? If I play well tonight and Everton win, I can probably just have the summer off then because the season's over pretty much. I think for him last night, he was thinking, you know what? I'm just going to push myself to 90 or 100%. And worst case scenario, I'll break down. I've got a few months off then. It's sad in a similar way because if he could play like that every week, yeah, I was saying to the lads I've been with today, he'd be a shoo-in on the plane for the Euros in the summer. He'd be back up to Harry Kane without a shadow of a doubt because I think he's one of the only players in England who can completely dominate most centre-backs for pace and for aerial duels. And if you want someone to come off the bench and be that target man, either to run in the channels or to players to hit, I don't think there's anyone better than an English, from an English point of view.
Yeah, no, listen, I think, like you say, the problem is just getting himself there. And it's sad, isn't it? And I guess it's frustrating as well for Blues because you know there is a player in there, but if you're only getting them maybe, one every 7-8 games, it's obviously not great, is it? And like you say, equally our defence, just so poor. I mean, that header, it's a free header. At the end of the day, it's a free header he's got. How is that happening?
I mean, from the first whistle, mate, the ball went wide to Harrison, and he hits a pretty, bang average ball across the box and caused chaos. He's literally, and again, I talk about the two boxes. What you want when you're forward, you're calm, you're composed, and you want your defenders to be aggressive and assertive. But like he's got them the wrong way round. It's just your defenders are far too lackadaisical. There was no aggression. You weren't putting the body on the line. It was just, I mean, we talk about our performance being the epitome of what you want in a derby. You were like the opposite.
Yeah, I agree, yeah. I mean, Sean Dyche, you got to give him props. I mean, you called it. I texted Gary in earlier on in the day and said, put me a couple of quid on Ashley Young to get booked, and you called it straight away and said, I don't think he'll play because of the game he'd had midweek and what he's been like in derbies. He got sent off in the last one, and I think Dyche got it bang on, whether it was his team talk, whether it was tactics, whether it was his selection. I think you've got to give him his due, haven't you?
Oh, listen, the 11 he picked, I can't say, hands on heart, I would have picked that 11, but it was the perfect 11. Man for man, position for position. They all won their individual battles. Ben Godfrey, who brought in at right back, who hasn't had the best of times, probably for the last 18 months to 2 years, was outstanding at right back. James Garner done a lot of quiet work in midfield. Garner guy was incredible. Literally must have won about 9 tackles in midfield. Decore, for what he lacks in quality, his work rate and how well he pressed from the front. McNeil and Harrison done some really good creative work and were, looked like they were trying to have a go at the fullback or the defenders every time they got the ball. They were more positive than I've seen them in a while. So the mentality of the players was spot on in terms of when they got the ball, looking to be positive, but then off the ball, not one player shirked away from a challenge, no one shirked away from a battle. He didn't look intimidated, and I think it shocked a few Liverpool players. I'm honest. I think Liverpool players are thinking these aren't that good. What's going on? And I think when you get into that cycle of thinking, whoa, it was like the momentum. They couldn't turn it. They couldn't turn the. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like they started at a level thinking this is the level we need to play at to beat Everton. Everton came in it and they just couldn't raise the level then. And Liverpool are capable up to there, but they couldn't get there.
I think there's something in that what you're saying, and without taking the piss, there was a Muskie put in our group chat. There was something like a stat of it. If you're a certain age, this is the first time you've seen Everton win and can have a beer legally or something. Obviously, you've won in lockdown, but all the pubs were shut, so it's been a while since you've been able to do that. And I think in a weird way, that's played in your favour. There's been so many times where maybe the players have turned up and we've battered you, and we've always had the look of the rub of the green. We've always, Pickford had its moments, Origi, all those games. And I think Liverpool have turned up we're going for the league. They're scrapping for relegation. Hey, we always beat them. Something will happen. And this time it never happened. And they weren't ready to fight, and use were. And we got our arses handed to us, simple as that.
Yeah, a couple of other players I want to mention. I've been as big as Chris, but Pickford made 2 pretty outstanding saves, really. But both were one with his hand, one with his foot, and they would do that really important times as well. And credit where it's due. There was none of the stupid antics. He got the job done. He done the simple things well, and was just saying again, a bit like what you're saying about Calvert-Lewin and about maybe some of the other players. If only he could reduce that more often. You know what I mean? It's sad, really, because he wouldn't be that I despise if he just turned up and done those things the way he's done them last night on a regular basis.
I think if you've played like that week in, week out, and I know that, it's hard to ask you to raise your game like that, but I think you're a top 6, 7 club if you play like that every week.
I mean, yeah, look, I think the one thing to say, and I'll say this even as an Evertonian, it's the fans are never going to be like that. It's impossible to get that level of atmosphere every month, every week. Two, the game plan or playing those players and the style of play wouldn't work every week because certain clubs had countered it in another way. I think it was like the perfect storm we used in terms of the right players, the right time, the right atmosphere, the right occasion, certain players who were on top of the game and were fit at the time. Last person to mention for me, Jared Brandwaite. What a player, by the way. What a player. And I mean, he's shown it on countless occasions for us this season. I said to you how disappointed I was that he didn't get me in for England. And I just, honestly, if there's a better centre-back at the moment in this country, on form, I haven't seen him as an English centre-back.
Yeah, I think I wouldn't give him maybe as high praise, but listen, he's quality. Yeah, I think he should be going to the Euros. I think he's a quality player.
Yeah, I mean,
any more views, really, mate? I'm a bit.
No, just to move on, and particularly for the ones who regularly follow or listen. We had a chat 2 or 3 weeks ago, and I was trying to get Muskie to pull up this reel where you said, I think Liverpool will win the league and Everton will go down. Absolutely couldn't have been a better result last night to put both of those things to bed. So let's just move on from there.
You put your head above the parapet. Sometimes you get shot, and I've been shot there, mate. And it's listen, fair play. I was wrong. Yeah. On that note, then, so you're obviously you're feeling confident you'll survive now.
I mean, we're 8 points clear of Luton. Luton have got 4 games left, so basic maths tells you they need to win 3 of them 4 games, and we need to lose our last 4. Sorry.
And you play Luton as well.
We play Luton, so Luton will have to beat us and win 2 of the other games. We've got Sheffield United at home, we've got Brentford at home, and we've got Arsenal away as our other 3 games. So, I mean, if we don't take 3 points from those 2 home games alone, I'll be shocked. One more win, mathematically, pretty much secures it for us.
And you just somehow got yourself into a position where even if the impossible happens and Man City and Arsenal let us back in, you're in a position where you could throw the game on the last day of the season anyway, just so Liverpool don't win the league. So it's win-win anyway, isn't it?
That'll be so tempting for Sean Dyche, I think, and knowing how well he's read the room in the last 6 months, I'm pretty sure he'll know how to handle that game. I remember going to Arsenal 2004, I think it was, when we just qualified prematurely, if you will, for the Champions League, and then you stole it off us because you ended up winning the Champions League, and all that went on at Villarreal. But anyway, that was that. But remember, we'd qualified as we thought for the Champions League, and in the game after it, we went to Highbury, and we played on the Saturday, qualified for the Champions League on the Saturday, went to Highbury on the Wednesday, and the players were clearly had been on the ale all week. We got beat. I think it was 7-0. It was horrendous. I was there. I went because it was just like, we're riding the wave. You just want to, celebrate what we've just done and whatever. But it was utterly embarrassing. But then all the way, I'm just laughing their heads off because it didn't matter.
Yeah.
We could be a similar one on the last game.
I mean, obviously, I think that's us done for the league. I think it'd be, I didn't think City would slip up anyway. But I thought if there was anyone that could slip up, it would be Arsenal. But they just put, what was it, 6 or 5 or 6 past Chelsea the other night?
5, yeah.
I know they both got to play Spurs now, but I think that's just between them two now. And I can't see City slipping up now. I think it's City's done. I think Arsenal will get second place, and I think we'll have a lacklustre finish to the season and finish third, which is just, again, listen, for all the Blues that are watching, again, reveling it in my demise. That's fine. That's what footy's about. You're buzzing when you're doing well and you're laughing when others aren't, and that's part and parcel. I've done loads of laughing over the years. I'm just absolutely devastated that Klopp doesn't get the finish he deserves from the players. It's just, anyway. Like,
Yeah,
so,
on that note, then, just to give you a bit of relief, I guess, they seem more than rumours now that Arne Slot will be the next Liverpool manager. I mean, I know you're not an expert on Dutch football. I know you won't claim to be, but what's your initial feelings on that appointment?
well, when I heard his name, the only time I'd heard anything to do with his name was the clothing brand that I've half my wardrobe stocked in. So, in fact, I'm wearing it now. So, I mean,
Arne Schwarzenegger.
yeah, that's yeah, and him as well. So, listen, any Red who says that he was on their radar is talking absolute bollocks. And if you look on Twitter now, apparently there's loads of them who are on to him, and I've seen the good work he's done. I had a quick look at his Wikipedia page, and I've seen a motivational talk he done after they beat Ajax. He went on and won the league. That's about as much as I know of him. So, listen, fuck knows. Do you know what I mean? Even in our Red group chat, I'd look at someone like Simeone. Do you know what I mean? But apparently that wouldn't go down too well. There's been Mourinho rumours that hasn't gone down well. It looks like Zidane might be going to Bayern. Thomas Tuchel rumours, mate. I think it's a poison chalice anyway. I think a lot of the big managers will be ruling themselves out just because they've seen what happened at United with Fergie. They've seen what happened at Arsenal with Wenger. Or any big corporation never takes away from sport.
Chelsea,
You know what I mean?
Mourinho, Chelsea after they lost Mourinho the first time.
I think so. As much as it's an uninspiring one for me, would it be the worst thing in the world that you give it to a relatively unknown guy? He might take the reign for a couple of years. Listen, we're not getting the glory days of what we've just had in the last 7 years. So that's the first and foremost thing people need to get their head round. This isn't going to be someone comes in and takes over the reins and we're going to go again. That will not happen. So I think Liverpool fans need to just... I sound really negative, by the way, but I just think we need to get our head round the fact that was a great 6 or 7 years. We've had loads of Boss aways, loads of Boss Wembley days. They're going to stop for a few years now, and I think you just need to take that on the chin because this is just like a lucky dip now. Whatever manager comes in, it is just like a lucky dip. You might get lucky, or it could be absolutely horrendous. And who are we to moan, though? You know, look, the last 6, 7 years we've had. Been in 3 Champions League finals, a Europa League final. We've been to Wembley, God knows how many times. You know, we've won the league once. We've been in with a shot of winning the league another 2 or 3 times. A few League Cups along the way, Super Cup, World Cup. I mean, I can't moan.
I mean... And even before that, you only had a little bit of a 3, 4, 5 year break. And before that was Benitez, who had a ridiculous reign as well. So,
yeah, even under Kenny, under that time, we got the double in. I think we done the FA Cup and League Cup, if I'm right. So, I just expect... you know what, mate? I'm not even taking that much interest in it at the minute because, I'm just resigned to the fact that it's not going to be anywhere like Klopp. So, you know... It will be what it will be, mate. But yeah, Arne Slot, never fucking heard of him.
Yeah, I mean, again, I'm not going to claim to be an Arne Slot expert. I mean, Feyenoord, for me, I think it's dead simple, right? There's 3 teams in Holland. There's only 3 teams in Holland. Like it or not, that's been the way it's been for 30 years, with the odd exception of maybe,
it's Hef Arnhem.
Alkmaar or whatever might break through or something like that for a season or two. It's only a step above Scotland, if we're going to be honest. It's only slightly above Scotland, and they've got 3 teams instead of 2 teams. Feyenoord have broke through over the last 3 years. Fair play. Is he any better than Ten Hag? I'm not sure. I mean, the pressure certainly is not as intense at Feyenoord as it is at Ajax. The expectation isn't as high at Feyenoord as it is at Ajax.
The big difference, mate, between when Liverpool get a manager in is when Ten Hag went to United, that was a club that needed to get success back because they hadn't had it for so long. When this guy, whoever it may be, comes into Liverpool fans won't be like the way United fans were, like, we need a trophy because we've just had every trophy you can have. So I think there will be a little bit less pressure on whoever comes in.
You believe that, though? How long does that last? I mean, there's not been many trophyless seasons, has there? And even before Klopp, even when Rodgers and Dalglish and whatever, there wasn't many seasons where he has a barren run, was there? More than 2 seasons.
It won't. You're right. It won't last long. But I think the first season, maybe even the second season, I don't think no one will be that arsed. Well, what I mean when I say they won't be that arsed, there won't be no crazy pressure to replicate what Klopp done. Because I think people realise, Liverpool fans aren't stupid, they realise they've been spoilt under Klopp. Do you know what I mean? And it'd be ridiculous to think anyone can come in and just take over and keep on winning. So I think there's got to be, you got to be pragmatic about this, do you know what I mean? And just, it's, like, to me, it's a lottery. To me, it's a lucky dip. He could be great and he could carry things on, or it could just be like, well, this is what the Blue Noses feel like for a couple of years.
Yeah.
Can we stop talking about Liverpool and Everton now?
Yeah, okay, fair enough. I mean, yeah, I know we haven't got that long anyway, so I don't know where you want to go. I mean, we spoke about the title race. I mean, it's interesting because if you were sitting in the position that Arsenal were in now, and City obviously where they were, which position would you rather be in? Would you rather be Arsenal, who were sitting there knowing that City have got to win 2 games, or are you backing yourself to just win every game between now and the end of the season?
I think I'd rather be an Arsenal. Just given the fact, listen, mate, I've also looked a bit stupid with egg on my face now because I thought Arsenal would fall away a long time before now. But fair play to them. They've really, really learned from last season. They've, bit down on the gum shield and they've cracked on, scored loads of goals, got that goal difference up. They're putting 5 and 6 past a number of teams now. Probably a handful of teams they've done that. They look like they're there for the long haul. So I'd much rather be in Arsenal's position, not only points-wise and goal difference-wise, but just the manner in which they're going about teams, you know what I mean? Dispatching Chelsea like they did, I thought was great. And I'd fully want to be in the Arsenal camp, and I think it's theirs to lose now.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not sure. No, I still think City will win every game and get over the line. Yeah, I think now they're out the Champions League, I think Pep know he can field his best 11 every week. I think if you're looking at it going, 5 cup finals?
Yeah,
I can't see if City know they're going to win 5 games on the bounce and they can put their best team, bring the best players off the bench. I just can't see how anyone can live with them.
Yeah, but if Arsenal win all this, Arsenal will win the league.
No, they don't. City win it.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm sure it's in Arsenal's hands still, isn't it?
They've got 2 games at hand, City.
Oh, of course, yeah, because Arsenal slipped up the other day, didn't they?
Yeah, they got 2 games at hand.
No,
City only need to draw 1 game, I think, for Arsenal to win it.
Yeah, no, I'm going to stick with Arsenal.
Arsenal still got to go to the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium on Sunday. As of City, though.
I know it's going to be, I can't see City in that sense, but at the same time, I just think this is a different Arsenal team now, and it's the first time I've, only changed, literally, 4 or 5 games to go, because I've always thought City would beat Arsenal, at least to it, if not Liverpool, but I just think Arsenal, they just look like a completely different team from last season. Where City will slip up, I don't know, but I think Arsenal might do it now.
Yeah, certainly.
I guess maybe before the derby, the big controversy, which we spoke a little bit about, is just how football this season has come so much about not what happened on the pitch, but off it. And you had all the drama with the FA Cup. Basically, if it wasn't for 2 bad refereeing decisions, you could have quite easily had Chelsea against Coventry in a final. And, 2 crazy VAR decisions was mad. I mean, I couldn't believe... the fact I had Cole Palmer to score first goal when his free kick at the arm of Grealish, and they never got a penalty, crazy. And then how it never went out for a corner was even crazier. Yeah. And then the same thing happened in the Everton game, again, no penalty. But then the same thing happened again in the Man United Coventry game, and they got a penalty. And again, you're just looking at referees now, think, what rule book are you looking at? Because I don't think any fan knows what a handball is anymore, and I think that's what's been a great season in many ways, like so many great memorable games, high scoring games. I think this will be a season that is known for the points deductions, for the VAR, for the refereeing controversies, and I think that's a shame about it, really.
The on-field refereeing now has gone to pot, because the referees on the field don't know the rules either. The referees on the field are reluctant to make a decision because they're waiting for the mate in their ear who may or may not help them. In certain weeks, the VAR is assisting them and they're making the right decision. In other weeks, they're not making any decision or anything in between. It's the level of inconsistency. It's the same principle on the points deductions. There's just no consistency, and that's the bit that's unfair about it. And I think corrupt is the wrong word. I know Evertonians will pull me up on that, the ones who believe it's corrupt. I don't believe it's corrupt. I just think it's competence. Incompetence and inconsistency. And it's just poor for an organisation the size of the Premier League to get it so wrong like they have this season, and to ruin the season in some respects, the way they have, it's just, you know.
I was looking forward so much to a podcast where Liverpool have stuffed Everton, and I could say how lucky you were for Ashley Young's performance, but it doesn't really even matter. That Derby performance has proven it's rendered Ashley Young's performance the week before. You know, it doesn't even matter, does it?
Well, it doesn't now, no, because again, you could say even if we lost that game, we'd still be okay. But look, Andy, I know you've got a meal to get back to. I know we won't be able to get through all the sport that we normally do this week, and I think it was worth just getting online.
Yeah,
worth seeing your face.
Yeah, so I was determined to at least come on and do 20 minutes or so, because I knew people who listen to this. Chris McKenna's a big fan of the pod as well from Downtown Business. I think we couldn't do one last time. I was when Everton won or something, and people would have just been on me saying, you never do a sportscast when Everton win or something like that. So I'm not that bitter. I'm keen to, talk sport with my mates and, give you your due, you've won. So, but no, I am actually in Ibiza with the Adaptive Grand Slam. The people that climb all the mountains with bringing disabled people out to Ibiza doing sport, bit of networking, bit of partying. So I know you're obviously on work to do as well, mate. So thanks for giving up your time as well. Thanks everyone for listening. Not been a great week for the Reds, but hopefully all you Blues have enjoyed it. And we'll see you next week.
We'll get tips on Saturday as well, by the way. Determined to get a winner this week. It's tough out there at the moment with the the season where it is, but we'll consider that as the weekend, and I'm sure we'll get at least the treble in.
Do you know one little anti-post bet I'm going to start talking about loads? Jude Bellingham to win BBC Sports Personality of the Year. If they do the Champions League, which I think they will, and England win the Euros, which I think they will, he has got to be a shoo-in. He scored the winner in 2 Clásicos. He's going to get La Liga's top goal scorer. And the only person who's ahead of him in the market now is Luke Littman.
I'm sorry, they're not giving it to an obese kid who eats kebabs and smokes vapes. It's just not the BBC, that is it. It's just not. It's not the.
At the moment, he's about 6-1. I want to start throwing a $5 a week on Bellingham to win it. That is where the money is.
A good investment. Solid investment, particularly before Real Madrid win anything. And again,
on it now. He's just going to drop it the price. So yeah. Like Gary, nice one, mate. Everyone, see you next week.